Economics, Standard 11, Unit 3, Production Analysis continued. Factors of production. There are four important factors of production, namely land, labor, capital and organization. Land, labor, capital and organizations are the four important factors of production. We learnt what is production and the meaning of land in economics and characteristics of land in the previous class. Let us learn today the other important factors of production, namely labor, capital and organization. Labor. Labor is the active factor of production. So, labor. Labor is the active factor of production. Generally, labor means manual labor or unskilled labor and unskilled work, manual work. But in economics, the term labor has a wider meaning. It refers to any work undertaken for securing an income or reward. It refers to any work undertaken for securing an income or reward. Such work may be manual or intellectual. So, labor can be divided. The work can be divided as manual or intellectual. The work of agricultural laborers or rickshaw puller and cook all come under manual labor, and they are just physically working. So the physical work carried out come under manual, and intellectual, that is the work done more on intellectually than physically. The work done more on intellectually than physically. The work of a doctor, engineer, teacher and so on come under intellectual labor. So here the best example, doctor, engineer, teacher, a farmer, cook, rickshaw puller, and so on. There are two types of labor, that is manual labor and intellectual labor. So, in short, labor in economics refers to any type of work performed by a laborer for earning an income such as wages or salaries. So, any type of work performed by a laborer for earning an income such as wages or salaries is called as labor. According to Marshall, labor represents services provided by the factor labor. Services provided by the factor labor which helps in yielding an income to the owner of the labor power. Characteristics of labor. Labor is the animate factor of production. So, characteristics of labor. The first important point is animate factor. Labor is an animate factor of production. Secondly, active factor. Active factor of production. Whereas land is passive factor of production. Third, labor implies several both manual and intellectual. Manual and intellectual. And fourth important point is labor is perishable, and fifth, labor is inseparable from the laborer. Inseparable from the laborer. Labor is less mobile between places and occupations. So, fifth, inseparable from the laborer, and then less mobile. Labor is less mobile between places and occupations. Seventh important point is labor is a means as well as end. Means here, labor is the cause of production, and an end here, and a laborer becomes a consumer of the product. So, labor is a means as well as an end, and that is, labor units are heterogeneous. It differs in ability. Labor units are heterogeneous and it differs in ability. Labor supply determines its reward, that is wages. Finally, labor has weak bargaining power. Labor has weak bargaining power. Capital is the third important factor of production. Capital. It is the third important factor of production. And of course, Alfred Marshall says that capital consists of all kinds of wealth other than free gifts of nature, which yields an income. It consists of all types of wealth other than free gifts of nature, which yields an income. Capital is a produced means of production. It is a produced means of production. Means of production. So, capital is a secondary means of production too. It's a produced means of production and secondary means of production. Secondary means of production. Now, capital which represents saving used as investment in the further production process. For example, take for example a mango. The entire mango is not eaten. A part of that mango, I mean the nut, is used to produce more mangoes. Capital is a stock concept. A stock concept. Remember, all capital is wealth, but all wealth is not capital. For example, tractor. Tractor is a capital asset which can be used for cultivation of farm, but if it is kept unused, I mean idle for some period, it is only wealth, not a capital. Characteristics of capital. Capital is a man-made factor. Capital is mobile between places and persons. Thirdly, capital is a passive factor like land. And fourth important point is capital supply is elastic in nature. Capital demand is a derived demand. Sixth, capital is durable. Capital is durable. Seventh, capital yields an income. And eighth, capital depreciates. Capital depreciates. There are two types of capitals, namely tangible and intangible. Buildings, plants, firms, factories, and machineries, and innovative of inputs all come under tangible capital. Intangible capital, that is investment on advertisement, expenses on training programs come under intangible capital. So there are two types of capitals, tangible and intangible. And financial capital. Financial capital means the assets needed by a firm to provide goods and services measured in terms of money value. So financial capital means the assets needed by a firm to provide goods and services measured in terms of money value. It is normally raised through debt and equity issues. The prime aim of it is to amass wealth in terms of profit. So, the characteristics of capital are man-made in nature, mobile between places and persons, passive factor, and capital supply is elastic, capital demand is a derived demand, capital is durable, capital yields an income, capital depreciates. And the fourth important factor of production is organization. An organizer is the most important factor of production. The man behind organizing the business is called an organizer or an entrepreneur. He represents a special type of labor. So organization is a special type of labor. And according to Joseph's computer, an entrepreneur innovates, coordinates other factors of productions, plans and runs a business. He not only runs the business, but also bears the risk of business. His reward is residual. This residual is either positive or negative. Profit comes under positive and loss or zero comes under negative. There are 5 important functions of an organizer: innovation, initiation and coordination, control, direction and supervision, risk-taking, uncertainty bearing. All these are important functions of an organizer. Let us learn the important functions of an organizer or an entrepreneur and the production function in the next class. Thank you for listening.